Alright, so I just beat Final Fantasy XVI, and wow, I got so many emotions running through me right now. It's a crazy game, and it's an amazing game. I love that game so much. And so I want to discuss where this game ranks amongst the other Final Fantasy games in the main series. So let's go ahead and get into that. But first, I am just going to reflect on Final Fantasy XVI and kind of break it down into subcategories. And I will start off with what I like best about Final Fantasy, which is the actual gameplay or combat, you would say. So let's just start there. I'm a man who enjoys the older Final Fantasy games where there's turn based combat. So, to my surprise, I really enjoy the mechanics they chose to go with in 16. And since I kept myself in the dark about the game, I did not expect Clive to slowly gain the icon abilities and basically become a god. Seriously, Clive becomes godlike and you can just blitz through most of these enemies. I think I only had about 4 or 5 game overs throughout the entire playthrough. And to me, that's not challenging. That's not doing it for me. Now, I love the feeling of just overpowering your enemies, but in most Final Fantasy games, you are challenged. But again, it's really not too much of a big deal because Clive is supposed to feel pretty powerful, especially when you're about halfway through the game. The only other thing that really bothered me was that you are only able to control Clive. You're not able to control Sid or Jill or Joshua or any other characters for that matter that you really care about. But that does bring me to my next topic, which are the characters. Starting with the protagonist, Clive, I really loved his character. Clive has a story arc that people can relate to, at least I could. We've all made mistakes and no one is perfect, but we have control and the will to set our future. He's been through a lot and luckily has plenty of friends to lean on when he needs help. I mean, Joshua, his younger brother, who at times has so much wisdom, you'd think he's the older brother. And how can you not mention Sidolphus? I mean, he's easily one of my favorite characters in the game. The charm along with the wisdom he brings to every scene is unmatched. Also, his theme is probably my favorite in the game. And of course, Jill, just simply lovely, loyal, kind, smart, strong, and she is with Clive until the end. She is one of the biggest reasons Clive continues even when things are so dark. Her character development and arc are excellent and even left me wanting more. And there are plenty of other characters to love. It's a solid cast along with top tier voice acting to go with. Again, passing with flying colors here. But next brings me to the story. Now, the story is wonderful, but I am conflicted on a few things. I promise you, you will be intrigued by the story and the direction it goes. But the dialogue is spoken in such riddles that I had a tough time understanding when exposition dumps took place. I'd have to pause the game and try to think and understand what the main antagonist is even trying to tell me at times. And really, sometimes you just want the direct answer. It's just like spit it out, tell me exactly what's going on. Which you can figure out what's going on, but I don't particularly like to dissect between the lines all the time. Maybe I'm alone on this, but Final Fantasy VII Remake or Final Fantasy X is much easier to follow. But besides that, I mean, the game is fantastic. The story, it's a spectacle, and it goes at a neck break pace, for me at least. There's not a whole lot of side quests or any mini games to do. It's a pretty linear game. It does open up later in the game, but for the most part, you do a few side quests and then you continue the story. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the soundtrack. The soundtrack was, again, solid. Solid soundtrack all around. I love the fact when you play the orchestration that it stays playing no matter where you go, it doesn't fade away. That is awesome. It's great, but I mean, you could really say, 6 through 10 is better. Again, solid soundtrack, but is it the best? No, it's not. Then the last thing I want to talk about is the ending. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but I just want to talk about the raw emotion that I feel when dealing with the ending, because when I first watched the credits roll, I was upset. I had crazy emotions, only to realize that I may have misinterpreted what exactly happened. So in a separate video, I will go into specifics on what I liked and what I did not like with the ending. Alright, now that I'm done reflecting on Final Fantasy XVI, where does it rank among the other main Final Fantasy games? I feel like it wouldn't be fair to go ahead and just put it at a number, but I would say this. I will say Final Fantasy XVI is in my top 5. That's how good Final Fantasy XVI is. Now, where does it rank in top 5? Is it number 1? Is it number 5? I'm still pondering that, and I think in about another month or two, I'm going to play it on Final Fantasy mode. I just started doing that, and I'm still amazed at the combat, so I'm going to keep playing through the game. I'm going to give it some more time, and I'm going to place it and rank these games. This game is definitely in my top 5 from here on out, and it's just an incredible game and a game that you should experience. Anyways, that's my thoughts, guys. Final Fantasy XVI. It is in my top 5 Final Fantasy main series games. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.